Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. I'm your host, Sam, back from hiatus, and of course, with me, as always, is the venerable Tarik. How you doing tonight?
Apparently venerable. I'm doing pretty well, Sam. How about you?
I'm doing all right. It seems your personalities have split just a bit, as you are now taking the place of Tarik and Kim.
Well, when you're married long enough, I guess it just happens.
Indeed. All right, so Partner Picks is brought to you by Morningwood Crafter, morningwoodcrafter.com, powered by design, crafted by hand, and Into Deep. Go ahead and check out their next show. Information that I have not received this week. That is partly my fault. It's what happens when I come back from vacation, and I didn't do everything I needed to. So it seems like every week there's upsets just all over the place. My biggest upset, I think, is I would have to say the fact that the Washington football team is even in the playoffs right now. If the
Right?
Crazy.
Yeah. And then Tom Brady crapped the bed, made me lose my fantasy matchup this week. Person I played against only had 70 points, and I lost because Tom Brady didn't do anything.
Yeah, I got lucky. I won by 3 points.
There you go.
Yes. Woo! Exciting. Oh man, but upsets are abound this year. It's been hard to pick, to be honest. And
But that's why we're here. We are professionals.
indeed, I have struggled recently. Beginning of the season, I was doing pretty good, but I've just recently.
You just don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea.
Exactly.
There's no gimmies anymore. Like, okay, Tom Brady fighting the Washington football team. He's going to win that. What? That's not a gimme game?
I know. And then you got teams last week, like the Well, I guess the Cowboys losing to the Raiders was a huge upset.
No, but I expected, like, the Raiders haven't been doing well.
Yeah.
And then the Broncos came out of nowhere and beat the Chargers.
Exactly. The Giants beating the Eagles. It's just been pandemonium everywhere. So
let's find out how we did, Sam. How about those records?
Good question. Let's see what we got. And there we go. As you can see, I struggled a little bit. Jessica with the win for the week at 10-5, putting her squarely in first place. Whew. Man, I got to catch her.
I'm not as far back as I thought.
No,
but I got over 500.
You're making your way towards the front of the crowd there.
Yeah.
You're only 3 behind me, and doing pretty good. Of course, I'm in third. Brady is in a close second. Brian in a far fifth, and Tom is somewhere below that.
Tom is there.
Tom is there. But the important thing is he tried.
Yep.
But let's get into it this week, guys. I'm excited. Week 13, 5 more weeks of football left.
Yeah. Which is, I'm still wrapping my head around it. I keep people asking about the rest of the season. I'm like, no, there's not that many. There's only December. Oh, wait, we got 2 games in January before the playoffs start. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's messing with my head.
Absolutely. Let's get ahead and get to your game of the week. What do you got for us today, Terry?
Right. I know all our viewers, all of our millions of viewers know we're in Maryland. And I'm going to pick the Ravens-Steelers game as my game of the week.
We haven't been that biased with this.
Yeah, we try not to. So, yeah, Ravens are neither Sam nor my number 1 team. But because we live here, we root for the local team. And this is always a good game. The Ravens have been, while they don't start well, they're finishing hard. They managed to win the game. And in the end, that's all that really matters. Like, you could be like the Colts and start every single game really well, but then they never finish, and that's why their record's less than 500. The Ravens, they're making nail biters. Everyone, I'm sure 911 gets called every single Sunday as everyone's just like having heart attacks about the end of that game. But they're managing to do it. And then you got the Steelers. They are at 500 with a tie. Yeah, this division rivalry is always a good game. It's always messy. It's always personal. It's always emotional. And Ravens are trying to they're like trying to dominate. They're like, we're winning the North. We're going to do it. Steelers are trying to clamber back up there. They're still technically, according to NFL Network I saw this morning, in the hunt, but barely. And they might not even be that. But I think this is just going to be a really good game, really good slogfest. I think the Ravens are going to do what they've done multiple weeks here. They're not going to win until the fourth quarter. Hopefully, it'll stay closer, that they can just do that and manage to hold it out. Hopefully, they can start off faster, but I think Ravens are going to win this. What do you think, Sam?
These division games are always really, really close. It doesn't matter what their records are. You throw those out the window. The Ravens and Steelers, they're going to hit each other hard. And Ben Roethlisberger is going to get up for this game. It's going to be a lower scoring game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, with its struggles last week, they struggled against the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
And Baker Mayfield, they couldn't score a touchdown. The Ravens barely got a touchdown. It was
they got one. That's all that matters. They got one.
True, they did get one, and they got the win in an ugly game. But 4 turnovers by Lamar Jackson last week, and it just wasn't pretty. But the Steelers looked so lackluster and just so blasé against the Bengals last week. So it was division games all around in the North. I have to give it to the Ravens simply because I think they hold the edge in that with that defense. And Lamar kind of he's much better than Roethlisberger, but still. Yeah, I got the Ravens. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be interesting.
Good word. I like it.
Indeed. All right, let's move on to the next game. We do have the Cowboys on Thursday night going against the New Orleans Saints with Taysom Hill back in the lineup.
Yep. So, this is our Thursday night game. I think it's going to be a little bit better than the records may show. Cowboys have been on fire. Last week was not a good week for them on Thanksgiving. Hopefully they can lick their wounds, lick their chops. Saints have, their record's less than 500 here. Parts of them look good. They look a little bit better than the record shows, in my opinion. But I'm hoping this will be like two teams just trying to prove they're still in it. Cowboys trying to keep that playoff berth, keep in charge of the NFC East, and Saints just trying to prove they're still something after Drew Brees retired. So I think Cowboys are going to pick back up after Thanksgiving, and I think it'll be close, not too close, but I think the Cowboys are going to come out ahead and stay ahead most of the game.
Cowboys, of course, are going to be without their head coach, but because of COVID.
I heard that, yeah.
However, Dan Quinn does have coaching experience. He was a head coach the previous year with the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, they played the Saints twice a year. He's going to have that little bit of insider knowledge to get that done. They're also going to have their wide receivers back for this game. And I think Dak has been sorely missing those receivers, both CD and Amari Cooper.
Yes.
Taysom Hill, he's a bit of a threat to run, to catch, to throw, to just be a slash player. However, they haven't looked great, actually, once Jameis Winston went down. They looked pretty bad. Trevor Siemian can't do it, and I don't believe in Taysom Hill to get it done. I have the Cowboys running away with this one on Thursday night, making up for some of the pitfalls that they've had the past couple of weeks. All right, let's move on to the Sunday night game.
Oh,
The Denver Broncos right back in the thick of things, going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Oof, this is going to be interesting.
interesting is the best word, the most positive word I can come up with for this. If you had told me after week 6 that right now in week 13 that Denver would be over 500, I'd slap you in the face. Like, this doesn't make it. Like, they did 3 weeks and then completely fell apart and had like 5 weeks of losses. I did not think that after their bye week they would somehow pick themselves up and win 2 of their next 3 games. Like, I'm shocked. I'm amazed. I'm impressed. Kansas City have a surprising record. They fell apart. They came back too, and this could go either way. So it all depends on which version. And we say this like any given Sunday. It all depends on who shows up. But with this, you have 2 different versions of teams, just like with Dallas, what we were saying with the previous game. You got a team that is managing the win, and then you got a team that's falling apart, and they're showing both faces this year. I know Teddy Bridgewater went out last week. I think he's cleared to play this week.
I want to say you're correct on that.
Yeah. I thought I read that he was cleared. So Drew Lock did finish the game well last week. Kansas City, they looked a little better last week. We'll see. I'm going with the Chiefs because I don't see how the Broncos are gonna pull this off. I think they'll stay in it. I don't think they have the
Horses?
Huh?
You don't think they have the horses?
No, I don't think they have the horses. I think the Chiefs are just gonna ride them all the way to the bank here. I think they'll stay in it. I think there's a chance, there's a non-0% chance Denver can come away with this. It all depends on what version, again, of each of these teams show up. But I'm picking the Chiefs. You?
The Chiefs are coming off their bye. And as Bridgewater goes, he left in the second quarter, came back in the third because Drew Lock was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have a lower leg injury after taking a big hit last week. The Chiefs coming off the bye. Andy Reid is nigh unbeatable off the bye. The fact that the Chiefs have such a late bye, it's almost like a bias.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair.
Yeah, you'll find that certain teams have late buys and certain teams have early buys almost every year. The Cowboys are one of those teams that always had an early buy. However, I think Denver's defense was what stepped up for them last week.
Yes.
The Chargers team, they absolutely dominated that game. Kansas City may have worked out most of their woes as far as turnovers go, but Denver is definitely going to put it to them. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be real close.
Yeah, I think it'll be real close. But
I, however, have the Chiefs off the bye because it's hard to pick against Andy Reid coming off the bye.
Yeah, in Kansas City, off a bye. Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't see how Denver can pull it off, unfortunately.
Yeah, unless the defense would have to be that key.
Yeah,
that's how they pull that off. The defense has to win that game. All right, let's move on to the Monday night game. We have the surprisingly first place New England Patriots going against the Buffalo Bills, losers of I think 2 of their last 3, which is odd to say.
Yeah. I think they're going to pick themselves back up. This is in Buffalo. Buffalo, did they play? They played Thursday, right?
Buffalo did play Thursday and they won.
So they won. They won. They got a nice rest because they got all through the week and they got till Monday night. They want this. They want to be on top. They want to take the Patriots down, who's won almost every single game for the last 2 decades with Tom Brady and Belichick. So I think Buffalo's going to win this one. I think it's going to be a nail biter. The records are very close. Patriots are holding on there. Belichick's methods and coaching is everything is coming through a little bit, just not as flashy without Tom Brady. So, but I'm going with Buffalo.
Belichick method this year, I think, is more defense than offense. It's been a huge help for Mac Jones to have that defensive presence, keeping the other teams pretty low, getting you good field position and stuff like that. Buffalo, of course, with the 31-6 victory last week over those Saints that we discussed earlier. I don't think that's as impressive as it could be.
Right.
I do agree that this game is going to be close. I think it's actually going to be fairly low scoring as well, only because, New England's defense has been pretty good, and the offense for the Bills has not been great. It's going to come down to the wire. I'm going to say it's probably going to be a 3-point game.
Yep.
But I got Buffalo winning this, and it's only because of the experience of Josh Allen at quarterback for the Buffalo Bills is going to win it. But do not sleep on those Patriots. They are
they're going to have to hit them hard, and keep hitting them, keep pounding away.
That's right. All right, let's move on to our quick hitters. And we're going to start with the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's going against the Atlanta Falcons, both winners last week.
So Tom Brady lost.
No, Tampa Bay won. They beat the Colts.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Tom Brady just didn't do much for my fantasy team.
Yeah. At the beginning of that game, they were horrible. But toward the end, they actually came back and won 38-31.
Oh, all right. I'm still picking Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's.
I'm gonna stick with you there. Pick the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's simply because the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's playing against the Atlanta Falcons, who are not so great.
Nope.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We have the Arizona Cardinals, 9-2, number 1 seed currently in the NFC, going against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, this is
still in play for a playoff spot.
That hurts. With the record that jarring. I'm going with Arizona. I don't see how they can lose this one.
It's funny. Every team except for one in the NFC is within 2 games of a playoff spot.
Oh wow!
The only team not in the playoffs running, the Lions. I, however, see Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins coming back this week, have a big game, and winning it big in Chicago.
Sounds good.
All right, let's move on. We have the Los Angeles Chargers looking very, very bad the last couple of weeks, going against a surging Bengals team.
Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati on this one. I think just they looked really good against the Steelers. The Chargers looked really bad against the Broncos. So I'm going with Cincinnati.
The defense of the Bengals has been pretty phenomenal for them recently. And the Chargers have been prone to turnovers. I got the Bengals in this one, although I feel strongly that the Chargers can win this one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my picks haven't been all that great recently. Anyway, so look for the Chargers to win this one.
Yeah, we're in like 3rd and 4th place here. So
all right, let's move on to the next game. We have the 5-6 Minnesota Vikings going against the 0-10-1 Detroit Lions.
Minnesota should feel very privileged. I am finally picking them.
Well, Dalvin Cook is probably out this week, just as a heads up. But then again, so is Denard Swift for the Lions. Of course, just not really.
It doesn't really. I don't think it's gonna matter. The Lions just have not looked good all year. I can't pick them.
I can't pick the Lions anymore either. I've picked them a couple times to get their first victory, and obviously they crapped all over me. Vikings for the win. All right, we have the New York Giants surprising winners over the Eagles last week, going against the also victorious Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, Miami's looked pretty good, and Giants even though with the win, they haven't looked. I mean, the record shows not that Miami's a whole lot better. I just think Miami's, especially at home, I think Miami's going to be able to pull it off.
Miami's on a win streak. It's funny. They're on a bit of a win streak and surging towards possible playoff contention. I think they're only a game or two out of seventh seed. The Giants, however, on offense look putrid. Of course, the Dolphins played the Carolina Panthers last week, who are at a free fall. So take that as you will. I will pick the Dolphins to win this one, though.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next game. We have those.
Speaking of the Eagles.
Yeah, there's loser Eagles. Losers last week going against the New York Jets, who did get a victory last week. However, it was against the Houston Texans.
Yeah, and therefore I'm picking Philadelphia because it's just, I mean, we got so many of these games. It's just bottom of the barrel playing bottom of the barrel. And so it's not an easy pick for the opposite of what we want. So I'm going with Philly.
Every time I've picked Philly, they've lost. Every time I've picked the Jets, they've won. I'm picking Philly, so I can be wrong again this week. All right, we got the Colts at 6-6, one game out of a playoff spot, going against those Houston Texans who lost last week.
Usually a good division game, not this year. The Colts can't close, but I don't see, like, they look pretty good through 3/4 of the game. I don't see how Houston's going to be able to catch up to that. I pick Indy.
I'm wondering if Jonathan Taylor last week just wasn't exhausted from the 180 some yards he got the week before.
I was exhausted watching him.
Yeah, it's tiring. I think he's got his rest. I think he's ready to roll, and I have the Colts in this one. Let's move on. We have the Washington football team in 7th place in the division in the conference, going against the Las Vegas Raiders, also currently in playoff position.
So this may be my main upset of the week that I'm picking. I'm picking the Washington football team. They've looked pretty good recently. Raiders have not, with all their turmoil on the field, behind the scenes, in the office. So, but I think they're going to keep up their streak, and I'm going to keep up their good mojo here. And I'm going to go with Washington there. I know words.
That's fine. I can't say. It's hard for me to say. I can't say their name too, especially when you say that they're going to win.
Yeah.
However,
it kind of makes me sick.
Yeah, the Vegas Raiders did put up some points last week. It was against the Cowboys team that was a bit depleted. However, I got the Vegas Raiders winning this one. Washington barely won on Monday night. Thank God that Terry McLaurin didn't get many points. So I got that victory in fantasy. But they almost botched it at the end.
Almost.
I got the Vegas Raiders. All right, we had the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2-9, and guaranteed a losing record this year, going against a surprisingly free-falling Los Angeles Rams. They've lost a couple of games in a row. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah, but I don't think they're that bad yet. They can lose to the Jags.
The Buffalo Bills lost to the Jags. Anybody can.
I'm still picking LA.
I think LA rights the ship this week. I'm surprised that they've dropped so many with the fact that they picked up Von Miller before the trade deadline. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pick up this great player and lose 3 in a row.
Yeah, well, it proves maybe the toxic environment that he had in Denver, because that's when Denver started winning again.
Maybe. All right, let's move on. We have the San Francisco 49ers playing against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, we got Upper West NFC West division game here. San Francisco, they got a winning record, but they haven't looked great lately. Seattle struggled to get anything going all year long. I'm going with San Francisco just because they look a little bit better. I think they have more pieces in place, but
Seattle barely scored any points against the Washington football team last week. San Francisco won a 3-game winning streak, putting themselves squarely in the playoff race. I have San Francisco on the road against the Seattle Seahawks, who cannot catch a break.
aha, aha.
That's how I do it. All right, folks, that is it.
Sorry, it's an off week, guys. We love you. We're professionals. It's a work in progress. Make sure you click that like button. There, down there, I think. Huh?
So glad to be back.
I know, right? Click that like button. Let us know you watched it. Leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win. If you think what do you think the upsets are going to be? There's some of these that look really good, and some of these we don't know. Subscribe so you know when our new videos are. And as always, I'm Tarik.
I'm Sam. And you have a great football week.
Bye, guys.